Here's a question for all of you. Let's see what you say. What is, in the United States, the most patriotic place, location, structure outside of D.C.? What is the one area that best shows off the strength of the United States here in our country? Statue of Liberty? Anything else? Independence Hall? Statue of Liberty? You got that one? Mount Rushmore? My thought process, but we're all different. All good answers here? I like places in our country that show off how big and powerful we are, how strong we are. Of course, Statue of Liberty is a great one because it also says, hey, bring us your tired, your poor, and everyone else. And the ideal of who we're supposed to be. Then our power, we took a mountain and put faces into it, and blew it apart with dynamite. That's pretty strong of us. And Independence Hall, where we will just say, here's who we are, stand up to England. The strength that we have. How much do you know about Caesarea Philippi, where Jesus was at today? Anyone? So, in Caesarea Philippi, there was a grand, giant temple built to honor Caesar. On this marble and power, to show off who it was that had the most power and authority. The one who claimed control over so much land. And it's a temple as well because they worship the Caesar. They worship him as the Son of God. And here, in the shadow of his temple, where everyone knows this, the imperial cult has been forming and going strong. Here is where Jesus asks his disciples, who am I? Who is it you say that I am? Well, some say John the Baptist back in the day. Some say Elijah. Some say prophets. Okay, that's what other people are saying. Don't know me as well. Who do you say that I am? You are the Messiah. The one sent by God. The one who brings salvation. In other Gospels, they will want to say, you are the Messiah, the Son of God. Now that was Caesar. He was the one who was so divine. But here, in all this shadow of power, in the shadow of the empire, here is where Christ stands up and says, here is who I am, and you know who I am. Don't tell anyone yet. Once he gets around, I'm going to be crucified, and I have some more work to get done. But here is who I am. You may think that they have all this power. You may think that he is so great and so mighty, but he is merely just a man. I am the Son of Man. I am the Son of God. And the disciples have to make a decision on who it is that they are going to follow. What's going to be their great sense of identity? Now, their identity cannot be based anymore on who they are as a people. It can be based on family that they are given biologically. It can't be based on the community around them. It can't be based on being Roman citizens. It has to be based on who they are in relationship to God. And the one who is now walking with them. And they don't always completely get it. Because pretty soon Jesus says, I'm going to be rebuked. I'm going to have to be tortured. I'm going to be put on that cross. I'm going to suffer horrible, horrible things. And it's a good thing I'm doing this. It's what needs to happen. And Peter doesn't like that very much, right? We don't want our friends to suffer. Also shows Jesus being weak. You don't want to be with the weak. You want to be with the Messiah, the one who's going to raise up a big army and kick Rome right out of town. That's been what the Messiah has been called for so many years. The hope for one to come and free the people from the tyranny of Rome. You can't tell me Rome's going to win. You can't tell me that you're going to go die a traitor's death. I refuse to believe that. I don't want it to happen. And Jesus turned around and rebuked him right back. There was a word that I used repeatedly there with Simon Peter. A word that we use quite a bit in our lives. The word I. It's all about me. What I want. It doesn't matter what Jesus says is necessary for the salvation of the whole world. What matters is that it makes Peter a bit uncomfortable to think this might happen to him. Whom do we give allegiance to? What do we give our allegiance to? That's the very basis of today's question in our gospel readings. Do we give allegiance to ourselves? Allegiance to the one we have to have all the fun? Everything needs to be a bit more immediate and short term. I can do what I want to get what I want. Is our allegiance to our immediate family? Is our allegiance to our community or our nation? Is our ultimate allegiance to this nation? Nation is full of issues, full of imperfections, full of sin. Or do we give our allegiance to the one who made us? When he calls to us and says, you know what? There's going to be suffering on this journey. There's going to be pain on this journey. There's going to be sacrifice on this journey. Are you willing to accept that? Will you pick up your cross and will you follow me on this journey? Or you sit back in comfort? Or say something else that is more important to me? One of my favorite shows of all time is The West Wing. There are times when I'm not feeling well, I'll just put that on and I get much more comfortable as the day goes on. I'm watching President Bartlett do his thing. Right there's all the other characters trying to figure out life. The one particular episode that sticks out to me quite often. The president is trying to figure out foreign policy. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do. There's a country that's suffering quite a bit. And he knows if he goes in and sends our forces in and everything else, he can bring salvation to the people who live there. But it's going to be an issue for us, and we're going to lose some of our own people as well. He does not know what to do. And he's talking to one of his new members of his staff. He was on the communications team, I know Will Bailey. And he's talking to himself and he goes, why is it that a Congolese life is worth less to me than an American life? And Will responds, I don't know, Mr. President, but it does. The president calls him kind of grave for not talking like that, and then, well, right in front of you soon anyway, say whatever I want. How is it that we put value on people's lives? How is it when we look around and say one life is worth more than the other? Look around and say, well, they're in my neighborhood, and matters more to me than anyone else's. If I'm my country, I'll pay a lot more attention. If I'm a country that I can get stuff from, I'll pay more attention. If I'm a weak, impoverished nation that can't do much for us, so when we follow Christ, it breaks down all divides. It says that no longer does it really matter where we are from. What matters is that we are united as one people with all people. Not just with the people we like, not just with the people we think look like us, not just the people who can do something for us, but it says that all life is sacred. All life created by the one who made us. All life really has great value. We're all siblings with each other. Now we know that this doesn't always ring true in today's world. We know that the news is very selective on who we talk about. We know that also we sat down and just pay attention to all the suffering in the world that goes on all the time. If they're drinking from a fire hose. We're going to begin to take every single second of every single day and did not bother to sleep anymore. We cannot begin to see the suffering of this world. That's a very tragic thing. It's impossible for us to look out and say, I can do it all. But we can do some. And the question shouldn't be, who is it that I think has the most value? Rather, who is it that I can help? Who is it that is suffering? I don't know what they might be, and how can I help them? Those are siblings who are suffering the most. And also, when we see that there is suffering that is not being mentioned, when we see that there are particular groups of people who are seen as higher than and therefore given more attention, raise our voices and say, wait, there is more we need to talk about. I find it intriguing when I go to the store and I see once again, on all the Lord National choirs and everything else, another story by JonBenet Ramsey. How many years has it been since she disappeared? Anybody know? I think I was a little kid when it happened. It's been quite a while. And week after week after week, we keep seeing stories like, well, maybe it was Dad, maybe it was this, maybe the electrician, maybe it was... We don't know. Is there value in saying, yes, this child disappeared, and we need to figure out what happened here, so maybe solace for the family? Absolutely. But how many more people have disappeared over the years? Do we hear their stories? Do we set up big, massive manhunts and weekly articles about them? Why is it that we care about her so much? Let's be honest. Because a white girl who was rich, a pageant girl, and it happens to this kind of person, it happens to anybody, right? Or it goes along with our dream of who maybe we want to be. But someone who is not going to match any of those criteria, we don't care so much about. That's a bit tragic. When we lift one group of people over the others and say, you are the great and almighty ones, we have a problem. We look at our particular nation and say, we are the great and mighty ones, and everyone else is second class. Everyone else is the second or third world because we are so great and wonderful, we have a problem. But we serve the one who made all of us. We serve the one who says, I died for all of you, not just for a few particular ones. I came so that all may have life and all may have hope. And you're to be the ones who carry that cross and to say, here we are to help. We will sacrifice what we have so that you may live. It's not about breaking us up into little subgroups. We all suffer. We all have pain and sorrows. And we serve the one who stands in the midst of power and stands in the midst of oppression and says, we cannot have any more of this. I am the true power. The power of love. The power of sacrifice. The power of justice. That's what we're called towards. Not that we can gain more power for ourselves. That every ounce of power we get, we may give it so someone else might be lifted up. And when we do that, we're living out the call from the one who made us. And we're rejoicing and hope in our whole world. Amen.